You weren't born to be average. You weren't made to just exist, pay bills, and fade into the background. You're here to evolve, to rise, to shake the ground with every step you take. Owning your journey is the first, most important step in improving yourself every single day. It means waking up and realizing that your life is yours. Your success, your failure, your growth, your decisions, they all belong to you, and that's not a burden, that's your power. Too many people walk through life as if they're passengers in their own story. They wait for permission, they wait for the perfect moment, they wait for someone else to tell them they're ready, but guess what? That moment may never come. Nobody's going to hand you a roadmap to your dreams. Nobody's going to knock on your door and say, now is the time. You have to claim that time. You have to decide that this is your life, and you're going to own every part of it, the good, the bad, the messy, the magical. It's easy to celebrate the highlights, the wins, the promotions, the applause, but true growth happens in the quiet. It happens when you mess up and choose to get back up anyway. It happens when things fall apart and you say, okay, what can I learn from this? Owning your journey means refusing to play the victim. It means refusing to let circumstances, people, or your past define what your future is going to be. You are not what happened to you. You are what you choose to become. Let that sink in, because it's easy to blame. Blame your parents, blame your environment, blame your boss, your partner, your luck. But improvement starts the moment you stop pointing fingers and start taking responsibility. You may not have created every obstacle in your path, but it's your job to overcome them. No one else can do that for you. Owning your journey is not about being perfect. It's about being real with yourself. Honest about your flaws, your fears, your strengths. It takes guts to look in the mirror and say, I'm not where I want to be yet, but I'm not staying where I am. That's where transformation begins, in that raw honesty. Not in comparison, not in pretending, not in denial, but in truth. You have to believe that you are worthy of growth, that you are capable of change, that your dreams, no matter how big or wild they seem, are valid. Stop waiting for someone to validate them. Validate yourself. Stop seeking approval from people who don't even understand your vision. Your journey is yours. It won't look like anyone else's, and that's exactly how it's supposed to be. There will be people who don't get it, who don't understand why you work so hard, why you dream so big, why you keep going when no one is watching. Let them talk, let them doubt, let them laugh. Because when you own your journey, you don't need their permission. You don't need their applause, you just need your own fire, and that fire, when protected and fed every day, will take you further than any approval ever could. People will project their own limitations onto you. That's not your burden to carry. Their doubt is not your truth. Just because they gave up on their dreams doesn't mean you have to shrink yours. Just because they couldn't handle the pressure doesn't mean you weren't built for it. Stand tall, walk proud, and remember, no one gets to write your story but you. Every step you take, even the small ones, even the ones that feel invisible, is progress. Don't underestimate those daily choices. Choosing discipline over distraction, choosing effort over excuses, choosing growth over comfort. That's how you move forward, not in giant leaps, but in consistent, intentional steps that you take no matter how hard it gets. Yes, it will be uncomfortable. Yes, you will have to stretch, sacrifice, and face parts of yourself you might not like. But guess what? That's part of the journey. That's part of owning it. You can't transform your life if you're not willing to look at where you're falling short. But here's the beautiful part. Every weakness you face is a strength in the making. Every fear you confront is power waiting to be unlocked. So don't run from the hard parts. Don't pretend they don't exist. Face them, own them, grow through them. Your journey isn't about being perfect. It's about being relentless. It's about showing up every day, doing the work, and trusting that the results will come, maybe not immediately. Maybe not in the way you imagined, but they will come if you stay true to yourself and refuse to give up. Improving yourself every day is not about chasing an ideal version of who you should be. It's about becoming the truest version of who you already are. It's about shedding the noise, the fear, the doubt, and stepping into your power fully. That power has been inside you all along, but you only unlock it when you take responsibility for your life, when you stop waiting, when you stop apologizing, when you stop asking for permission to shine. This is your story, your climb, your evolution. Don't waste another moment living someone else's narrative. Don't wait for the world to catch up to your vision. You lead, you rise, you own it every single day. That's how transformation happens. That's how legacies are built. That's how you become unstoppable. Own your journey and the world will have no choice but to watch you rise. Be fearlessly ambitious. Not quietly ambitious, not cautiously ambitious. Fearlessly, the kind of ambition that makes people uncomfortable, the kind that breaks rules, raises eyebrows, and refuses to play small. Because if you're going to improve yourself every day, you can't do it by thinking safe. You have to dream beyond what feels logical. You have to reach for what makes your heart beat faster and your hands a little shaky. That's how you know it's worth chasing. Ambition isn't a dirty word. It's not arrogance, it's not selfishness, it's hunger, it's vision, it's the fire that keeps you awake at night because you know there's something greater waiting for you, and you won't stop until you've built it, touched it, lived it. Fearless ambition is what separates the average from the extraordinary. It's not talent, it's not background, it's not connections, it's that inner voice that says, I will not settle here. You don't need to tone yourself down to make others feel comfortable. You don't need to shrink your dreams because someone else couldn't see the same horizon. Let them stay where they are. You're not for everyone, and that's exactly the point. Fearless ambition means you stop asking for a seat at the table. You build your own damn table. You design it, you own it, and you invite whoever matches your energy. If people call that too much, let them. Too much for the wrong people is just enough for the right destiny. Improvement doesn't happen when you set goals that feel safe and easy. That's maintenance, that's comfort. You want to grow. Set goals that scare you a little. Set goals that make you say, how am I going to pull this off? Because in that question lies your evolution. That's where the magic begins, when you step into a space where you're not entirely sure how, but you know you will. Fearless ambition doesn't come with guarantees. It comes with grit. There will be moments when fear tries to talk you out of your dream. It will say things like, be realistic, or play it safe, or what if you fail? But here's the truth. Fear never built anything great. Fear has never made history. Fear has never changed the world. Only courage does that. Only people who are bold enough to say, I know the odds are against me, but I'm betting on myself anyway. That's fearless ambition. Betting on yourself over and over again, no matter what. You don't owe anyone an explanation for your ambition. You don't need to justify why you want what you want. Your dreams are yours. Your fire is yours. Let people doubt. Let them criticize. While they're talking, you're building. While they're hesitating, you're learning. While they're settling, you're rising. Keep your head down and your standards high. Don't slow down because they're uncomfortable. Speed up and let them adjust or fall behind. Fearless ambition is about showing up even when you don't feel ready. It's about doing it anyway, scared, unsure, unprepared, but doing it. Because progress is not about confidence, it's about courage. Confidence comes later, after the work, after the wins, after the climb. What matters first is the decision to try, the decision to dare, the decision to move. Stop waiting to be picked. Pick yourself. Say yes to the opportunity before you feel qualified. Say yes before you have all the answers. Growth doesn't wait for perfect timing. It waits for brave decisions. The most powerful people in the world didn't get there because it was easy. They got there because they dared to keep going when it was hard, because they saw a version of life that no one else saw yet, and they refused to look away. Ambition is not always loud. Sometimes it's quiet. Sometimes it's you, alone in your room, writing plans no one knows about. Sometimes it's you practicing in the mirror. Sometimes it's you staying in when others go out, working when others rest. That's still ambition. And it counts every sacrifice, every hard choice, every early morning and late night. That's what builds the foundation. That's what turns ambition into reality. Don't be afraid to want more. Wanting more doesn't make you ungrateful. It makes you alive, it makes you hungry, and that hunger is the fuel you need to keep evolving, to keep improving, to keep becoming the person you were always meant to be. People will say, why can't you just be satisfied? The answer is simple, because you know what you're capable of. Because you've seen glimpses of your own greatness and you refuse to ignore it. So aim higher. Every time you reach a goal, raise the bar. Celebrate, yes, but don't settle. There is no final destination. You are the project and the masterpiece and the artist all in one. You are allowed to evolve again and again. That's what fearless ambition looks like. It's relentless. It's never-ending. It's beautiful. Be bold enough to want more, brave enough to go after it, and strong enough to rise again every time life knocks you down. That's how you improve every single day. That's how you build a life that turns heads, breaks limits, and leaves a legacy. You weren't born to blend in. You were born to break through. So don't whisper your ambition. Speak it, own it, and then chase it like your life depends on it, because it does. Embrace the hustle. Fall in love with it. Not just the dream, not just the outcome, but the process, the unglamorous, exhausting, gritty, lonely process, because that's where greatness is made, in the hours no one sees, in the moments no one applauds. When it's just you, your ambition, and the question, how bad do you want it? Everyone wants the success, the spotlight, the applause, but few are willing to do what it takes to earn it, because the hustle is uncomfortable. It doesn't look good on Instagram. It doesn't come with filters or followers. It's early mornings when your body aches. It's late nights when your eyes burn. It's saying no to distractions, no to comfort, no to everything that pulls you away from who you're trying to become. The hustle doesn't care how you feel. It only responds to what you do. You want to improve every day. Get ready to work like it. Not sometimes, not when it's convenient, not only when motivation strikes. Every day, that's the cost, that's the reality. You don't rise by accident. You rise because you refuse to stop. Even when it's hard, even when you're tired, even when you're doubting yourself, especially then. Because improvement doesn't come wrapped in motivation. It comes wrapped in discipline. There are days when you won't want to show up. Show up anyway. There are days when you'll feel like nothing is working. Keep going. The hustle doesn't promise immediate results, but it promises growth. And that growth is happening in the background even when you can't see it yet. Every rep, every effort, every drop of sweat is building something inside you. Something unshakable. People will say you're doing too much, that you're obsessed, that you should slow down, but obsession is what separates winners from wishers. You don't get to greatness by being casual. You get there by being committed, fully, unapologetically. You have to be all in, because if you're not, someone else will be. Someone else will outwork you, outlast you, and outgrow you, and that's the truth nobody likes to hear. Hustle isn't a trend, it's a mindset. There's nothing romantic about grinding in silence, but that silence, that's where you build your power, that's where you sharpen your edge. While others are scrolling, you're studying. While others are sleeping, you're building. While others are hesitating, you're making moves. That's hustle. That's improvement. Every single step forward, no matter how small, adds up. It's not about talent. It's not about luck. It's about consistency. Show up, show up, show up until the world can't ignore you anymore. You don't need a perfect plan. You need relentless action. Plans can be adjusted. Strategies can evolve. But nothing replaces hard work. Nothing beats outlasting the ones who gave up. The hustle demands sacrifice. Yes, you'll miss out on some things. Yes, you'll say no to comfort, to convenience, to the easy route. But what you gain in return is far more valuable: self-respect, confidence, proof that you are the kind of person who keeps promises to yourself. That's how identity shifts. That's how transformation sticks. The grind will test you. It will break you down and ask you who you really are. And in those moments when no one's watching, when the motivation is gone, your true self shows up. Will you quit? Will you back off? Or will you lean in and level up? That decision, repeated daily, is what shapes your future. Everyone sees the success and wants it, but not everyone wants to live the days that led there, the early rejections, the countless mistakes, the work that gets thrown away and redone again and again. That's the part people skip over, but that's the part that matters. The hustle is the story, the effort is the breakthrough. If you skip it, you skip the becoming. You can't microwave mastery. You can't shortcut evolution. The hustle is your training ground. It's where your mindset is tested, your limits are pushed, and your purpose is forged. You don't get stronger by staying comfortable. You get stronger by showing up in the mess, in the chaos, and choosing to move anyway. So stop waiting for it to get easier. It won't. You'll just get stronger. The weight won't get lighter. Your muscles will grow. Your mind will toughen. Your heart will stretch. Embrace that. Welcome it. Let it shape you. Let it build the kind of discipline that doesn't need hype, doesn't need approval, doesn't need anything outside of you to get moving. You want to become someone extraordinary, then be willing to do what ordinary people won't. Wake up earlier, stay up later, do the boring, repetitive, necessary things without complaining. That's what winners do. They grind in the dark so they can shine in the light. They hustle not for the applause, but for the person they're becoming, because in the end, that's what hustle is really about. It's not just about what you achieve. It's about who you become. The hustle teaches you to rely on yourself, to trust your grind, to believe that no matter what life throws at you, you have the power to rise, to fight, to improve one day at a time. Embrace the hustle, let it mold you, let it challenge you, let it wake you up every morning and remind you that you were made for more. And every day that you show up, even when it's hard, you're proving that greatness isn't just something you want. It's something you're building every damn day. Silence the noise. That's not just a suggestion, it's a survival skill. In a world that constantly screams at you about who you should be, how you should act, what you should look like, and what you should want, choosing to tune it all out and listen to yourself is one of the most powerful moves you'll ever make. You cannot improve, grow, evolve, or rise if you're always plugged into the chaos around you. At some point, you have to shut it down and go inward. You have to listen to your own voice above the rest. There will always be opinions, always. People who think they know you better than you know yourself. People who feel entitled to comment on your choices, your dreams, your pace. Let them talk, let them guess. Let them misunderstand you. That's not your concern. You are not here to make sense to everyone. You're here to become the best version of yourself, not the most acceptable version of what someone else wants you to be. Silencing the noise doesn't mean pretending it doesn't exist. It means not letting it control your direction. It means having the strength to pause and ask, is this thought mine, or did the world put it in my head? That level of awareness is rare, but it's everything. Because if you don't take control of your mind, someone else will. And if you let every comment, every opinion, every trend, and every comparison sway you, you'll spend your whole life chasing things that never belonged to you in the first place. People love to project their fears onto you. They'll tell you your goals are too big, that your pace is too fast, that you're changing too much. They'll try to keep you where they feel safe, but their limitations are not your reality. Just because they don't believe in themselves doesn't mean you need to doubt your potential. That noise, that judgment, that negativity, mute it, block it, rise above it. They don't know what you're building because it wasn't meant for them to understand. To improve yourself every day, you need focus. Real, sharp, unshakable focus, and you cannot get that when your head is full of static. You need to get comfortable with silence, with being alone with your thoughts. With sitting in stillness and asking yourself the real questions. What do I want? What am I willing to do for it? What am I no longer available for? Those answers won't come from social media. They won't come from your critics. They'll come from you, and the only way to hear them is to shut everything else out. You don't need everyone to agree with you. You don't need everyone to support you. If they get it, great. If they don't, move anyway. The noise is loudest right before the breakthrough. The distractions are strongest when you're about to level up. That's not a sign to stop. That's confirmation that you're on the right path. Keep going. Keep building. Keep believing in what no one else can see yet. It takes strength to not react, to not explain yourself to people who are committed to misunderstanding you, to stay grounded when people try to shake you. But growth demands that level of control. When you silence the noise, you reclaim your energy that you used to waste on overthinking, defending, pleasing. Now that energy gets redirected into building, improving, evolving. That's the shift. That's the power of learning to be still inside chaos. Your peace is your responsibility. Protect it. Don't hand it over to every comment, every headline, every stranger on a screen. Be intentional about what you allow into your mind, what you read, what you listen to, who you follow. Not everything deserves your attention. Not every voice deserves your response. You get to choose where your focus goes, and where focus goes, energy flows. The world will constantly try to pull you in a million directions. But your power lies in your ability to stay centered. Let everyone else rush. Let them react. Let them try to keep up with trends, with gossip, with noise. You stay locked in. You stay committed to your growth, your goals, your pace. There is no race. There is only the work, your work, done your way. Improving yourself every day doesn't always look dramatic. Sometimes it's as simple as turning off your phone, sitting with your journal, moving your body, or setting a boundary. Sometimes it's just saying no, and not explaining why. That is growth. That is self-respect. And that is how you begin to create a life that feels good, not just looks good. You don't owe the world your constant availability. You don't owe them updates, validation, or access. Let them wonder. Let your results do the talking, because the truth is, the most powerful people aren't the loudest. They're the ones so focused, so grounded, and so in tune with themselves that nothing outside them can shake what they're building. So, protect your peace like your future depends on it, because it does. Drown out the noise with discipline. Replace comparison with self-belief. Trade distraction for purpose. And remember, no one ever created something extraordinary by blending in with the chaos. They created it by stepping away from the noise long enough to hear their own voice and following it relentlessly. You're not here to be the loudest. You're here to be the realist. Silence the noise. And let your work make the sound. Progress over perfection, that's it. That's the mantra. If you really want to grow, evolve, and improve every single day, you have to let go of this toxic need to be flawless. Perfection is a lie, it's a trap, it's a finish line that keeps moving, always just out of reach, and chasing it will exhaust you, paralyze you, and stop you from even starting. Progress, on the other hand, is real. It's tangible, it's movement, even if it's messy, slow, or imperfect. Progress is what builds momentum. Perfection just builds fear. You don't need to have it all figured out to begin. You don't need to be the best to start. You just need to start, show up, do the work, keep moving. That's how transformation happens, not in grand, perfect moments, but in small, imperfect, consistent ones. Every day that you take a step forward, even if you trip, even if you doubt, even if you don't know what's next, you are growing. You are changing, and that matters. So stop waiting to feel ready. You're never going to feel fully ready. You're never going to know exactly how things will unfold, and that's okay. The goal is not to have a flawless plan. The goal is to move, to take action, to test, to learn, and to adjust. Perfection is about control. Progress is about courage, and courage is what actually gets you somewhere. Too many people are sitting on their potential because they're afraid to do it wrong. They're afraid to look foolish. They're afraid to fail. But guess what? You're going to fail. You're going to fall. You're going to get it wrong sometimes. That's part of the process. That's how you learn. No one who's great at anything got there without making mistakes. So instead of fearing them, welcome them. Let them teach you. Let them toughen you. Let them show you what works and what doesn't. Perfectionism is the enemy of growth. It tricks you into thinking you're being productive by waiting for the right time, or planning every detail. But deep down, you know what's really happening. You're procrastinating. You're hiding. You're letting fear dress up as standards. Don't confuse excellence with perfection. Strive to be excellent, but don't let the fear of imperfection stop you from moving forward. Progress is about messy beginnings. It's about awkward first tries. It's about showing up even when it's uncomfortable. And every time you do, you get better. You build confidence. You collect experience. You move forward. That's the goal. Not to be perfect, but to be better than you were yesterday. You'll look back one day at the version of you that started with nothing but courage and a little bit of vision, and you'll be proud. Not because you got it all right, but because you didn't quit, because you dared to move when it was hard, because you kept improving when no one was clapping. That's what separates winners from the rest, not talent, not luck, but the willingness to keep going without needing to be perfect. Stop judging yourself for not being further along. You're learning, you're growing, and every step counts, even the ones that feel like detours. Progress doesn't mean a straight line, it means momentum. Sometimes fast, sometimes slow, sometimes sideways, but as long as you're moving, you're evolving, and that matters more than hitting some imaginary standard of perfection that was never real to begin with. You are allowed to be a work in progress and still be proud of how far you've come. You are allowed to have goals and still make mistakes. You are allowed to chase greatness without needing every step to look graceful. Don't wait for perfect conditions to move. Create your own momentum in the middle of the mess. That's real power, that's real growth. Celebrate the small wins, every single one of them, because they add up. One more rep, one more hour, one more uncomfortable conversation, one more rejection that didn't break you. That's how empires are built, brick by brick, not in a single perfect stroke. So start, and then keep starting. Over and over again, let perfection go and let progress pull you forward. The people who go the furthest aren't the ones who had the cleanest path. They're the ones who kept going through the mess, who embraced the chaos, who chose action over analysis, who knew that movement creates clarity, not the other way around. So if you're stuck, move. If you're scared, move. If you're unsure, move. Don't wait to be perfect. Be in motion. It's easy to look at others and think they've got it all figured out, but everyone is figuring it out. Everyone is learning as they go. You are not behind. You are not broken. You are simply becoming. And becoming is messy. Becoming is full of mistakes and growth spurts and moments where you doubt everything. That's normal. That's human. That's powerful. So show up. Show up for yourself. Show up for your dream. Show up for your future, even if it's imperfect, even if it's uncomfortable. Even if you feel like you're crawling, because forward is forward and progress will always beat perfection, every single time. The goal is not to be flawless. The goal is to be relentless, to keep rising, to keep learning, to keep improving every single day, no matter how messy, no matter how hard, because that's what winners do.